Hi, good morning.
先生、おはようございます。Good morning.
Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning to you. How are you today?
Not bad. Yourself?
Good. I'm good. Thank you very much for asking. All right. Um,
Are you
Before
calling
we
from the
begin,
Philippines?
I I am from the Philippines. I'm in Manila now.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. Okay.
correct. Before we begin, let's do a bit of introduction. So, can you please tell me something about yourself?
Yes, of course. My name is Vladimir, but please call me Vlad.
Okay.
Short. And I am from Bulgaria, but I live in Japan.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
All
that's.
right. How
I
how
used to
long
be
have you
okay.
been?
As far as my job's concerned, I used to be a language teacher.
Oh, okay.
Used to.
Used to. We're almost the same.
You said you used to be a language teacher yourself? Why used to?
No, I mean we're the same. I'm teaching English now, and for you, you
Uh,
also experienced, right?
because I'm not teaching anymore.
Mm-hmm. How long were you a teacher?
I was a teacher for 12 years.
Such a long time. What language did you teach?
English, primarily.
Ah, okay. And you taught in Bulgaria?
In Japan.
In Japan. Ah, okay.
What about you? How long have you been teaching English for?
Just 2 years. So,
2 years.
relatively short. You said something very interesting. Language cannot be taught. Why do
Mm.
you think so?
Do you think that language can be taught?
I think so, yes. Speaking the language can be taught.
Speaking.
Mhm.
How can you teach speaking?
Like what I'm doing here now in on Sankei. Like you teach them the basics, the grammar, the construction.
So what you're saying is you can teach grammar and vocabulary.
Yes.
But is that the same as teaching people how to speak? Teaching people speaking? How can, even forget about English, if we think about your native language, can
Mhm.
you teach people how to speak? Can you teach people speaking? It even sounds weird when I ask it. How can we teach people speaking? I don't understand.
Like speaking as the action itself, of course not. They have to learn them from the beginning, like walking or something like that. But the hmm, it's a very difficult topic now that you've mentioned it. It's very interesting.
Speaking to
I
me,
mhm,
we talk about things we are knowledgeable about, right? You used
right.
to be, or maybe still are, a flight attendant?
I used to be,
I
yes.
used to be. So I guess you could talk about your job, you could talk
Mm-hmm,
about your experiences, something I can't talk about, even though I'm
mm-hmm,
fluent in English, right?
mm-hmm, right.
Because
Mm-hmm,
I don't have the experience, I don't have the knowledge.
right.
I
Mm-hmm.
studied economics. I could talk about economics, probably
Economics.
something
Okay.
you can't really talk about, even though
Mm-hmm,
you're fluent in English. So my point is, how
mm-hmm,
can we teach people speaking? You understand my point? To me, speaking is a byproduct of acquiring knowledge, like a
okay.
side effect almost, like a bonus. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm, right, right, right. That's true.
So how can we teach speaking? How can we put words in people's mouth? Do you understand?
Okay. Right, right.
Does it make
Now I get
sense?
your point.
Yeah.
It makes sense, yes. Okay. Point taken. Very good. So, how long have you been on Sankei? I can't say learning because you're already fluent in English, but how long have you been using Sankei?
Not very long.
Okay, just recently. And why
Just
did you
recently.
decide to use Sankei?
On this platform, I don't know if you know,
Mhm.
lessons with native teachers cost 10 times more than the lessons with Filipino teachers.
Oh, really?
10 to 12, 13, 10 to 13 times more. I'm not sure how much they get paid.
Yes.
That's something I don't know, but
The
lessons with
cost.
native speakers cost, what do you use, coins? Cost 10 times more coins, 10 to 12 times more coins than lessons with Filipino teachers. What do you think
Oh,
about that?
wow. That's very sad, actually. It's one of my students already mentioned that to me, but of course he didn't mention that it's 10 times or 12 times more.
Yeah, your lesson is 20 coins.
Uh-huh.
Lesson with a native speaker is 200 coins.
200 coins.
There are lessons with Filipino teachers as low as 15 coins.
Ah, really?
So
Wow.
even 13 times.
Wow. That's it's okay. I understand it's probably because the experience and, like, for example, free talking, right? They would be more how do you say? They can practice really well with a native speaker than a Filipino teacher.
10
Probably that's
times,
how
10 times better.
10 times more.
More practice. When you say practice, what do you mean by practice? Moving
Like,
the
for
muscle?
example, no, but like, for example, for me, I really enjoy talking to native speakers as well, like British or American. It feels like um the conversation is more smooth.
Mm.
I really can't put it into words, but it's something like that.
Would you rather talk in your native language with somebody very intelligent, very smart, even in your native language, as opposed to speaking with a native speaker on a topic you don't care about?
Can you say that again? Okay.
So if you have
Choice.
two choices, one
Mm-hmm.
is have a conversation, a very meaningful conversation on a topic of
Mm-hmm.
your interest with
Mm-hmm.
somebody with an accent, even not even accent, but somebody in your native language, not
Mm-hmm.
even in
Okay.
English, versus having a meaningless conversation with a native speaker of English.
For me, my answer would be, of course, I would have an intellectual conversation. But there are people who would really want to practice with someone who is American or who is British. It's their option because they would
Practice
feel
what?
more
Sorry to interrupt. Practice what? I don't understand. What is the practice point?
practice their speaking skills.
So, as far as this conversation goes, what's the difference for me
Mm-hmm.
if you were native or non-native? What my mouth shape would change? What would be the difference?
I can't explain my answer, to be honest.
No, I guess what you mean is, you're exposed to the native accent, listening, right?
Mm-hmm,
That's
mm-hmm.
probably what you
Right.
mean when you have a
Mm-hmm,
conversation with a native speaker.
mm-hmm,
That's the
mm-hmm.
native, that's the real language, right?
Right.
Even
Mm-hmm,
though Filipino people are, virtually native, they're practically native, you're very close to native. But let's say that you are not native, and having a conversation with a native speaker trains your ear.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, let's say this is the practice. Why not just listen to a podcast?
Mm. Okay.
And you can learn actually something instead of just having a
That's
meaningless
true.
conversation. You see, the
That's
reason
very
I'm
true.
here is because I'm interested in your experience
Okay.
as a
Right.
language teacher. Okay, so this
Mm-hmm,
is kind of information I'm interested in.
mm-hmm.
So what is the practice? For me, I'm here to get knowledge from you, to get information. But when I say knowledge, I don't mean vocabulary and grammar. I mean
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That is your purpose for this conversation. That's the goal for you.
Yes, but I think that's the only purpose, not just for me. Do you understand? That's why I don't understand the meaning of practice. What is practice for you?
Like for example, for some students, they already know some basic um, words, English words. So they are trying to, okay, for example, for me, I'm learning French now. And as you, I can't really converse yet, of course, because I'm just a beginner. So right now I'm doing a self study because I used to learn French when I was in the university. Right? So now it's just I'm relearning the language. Okay. But I can't converse yet.
From textbooks?
From my old
Okay.
textbooks and from my old notes. And now you have Duolingo, so you have bit of some exercises, some activities. Um, if, for example, I were to choose for now, I were to choose a Filipino who can teach me or practice with me French.
Practice what? Sorry to interrupt. What is the practice?
Like she can allow me to just speak whatever I know,
Okay.
right? And then if she's cheaper for now, for example, 15 coins, and then someone who is a native French native speaker who costs 200 coins, I would go to first the 15 coin teacher for now because I'm not very fluent yet or not very knowledgeable yet. And then maybe next time when I am more advanced, I would move to the native speaker.
And pay 10 times more to have the option for
Not
somebody to allow for you to speak. Really?
yes, I think
Allow, give you the option to speak. You pay money. So you don't talk to yourself, you mean?
no.
Hmm. So you would pay for French speaking.
When I am become more fluent, yeah,
Hmm. I see. But not 10
mm,
times more.
no, definitely not.
This is a huge
It,
difference. Most schools, online schools that cater to Japanese people, there is a price difference between native and Filipino instructors, primarily from the Philippines.
mhm, mhm.
But 10 times, I think this is the only one. Usually it's maybe
Ah,
three to four times,
mhm. Not a
difference in
huge
price.
difference.
But here,
Mhm.
10, 12, 13. Again,
The
I'm not
pricing.
sure how much they get paid. I don't think they get
Mm,
paid 10 times more, but that doesn't matter.
no.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
I don't think they provide 10 times the value, native speakers.
Mm, Have you already booked a lesson with a native speaker, or you wouldn't really?
Not on this
Ah,
platform.
and how was the experience?
The question I ask native speakers, and I can even ask you this question is, would you pay a native speaker of your language, Tagalog in your
Mm-hmm.
case, would you
Mm-hmm.
pay money to practice your speaking?
No,
No.
not really.
You felt the weirdness of my question?
Yeah.
You said,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
what are you talking about? Makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly my reaction when people pay to practice their speaking. That's exactly my
Mm-hmm.
reaction. Makes no sense to me. Why did you say no? Why wouldn't you pay to have a conversation with a person
With
in your
a
native language?
fluent Filipino speaker.
Yeah, somebody
Mm-hmm.
in your country. Why wouldn't you pay money?
Because I'm already fluent in Filipino.
Because you're already fluent. So you don't need to move your mouth. You don't need to what? You don't. But in French, you need to move your mouth,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're willing to pay. It's very hard to explain.
Yeah, actually.
To
Maybe
me,
different scenarios.
What about
Mhm.
now? Don't you have the feeling that you're practicing your English now? No, you have no such feeling. Because English is
Now,
not your native language.
mhm, mhm.
Do you have the feeling of you're practicing your English?
I kind of do.
But you get paid.
Es- especially, yeah,
So,
especially if. Go ahead.
no, but you're practicing your English, but you get paid. Doesn't make sense.
But the question was if I were to choose if I would learn from someone, but you chose me. So what I'm saying is now the situation now is I feel like like I'm kind of practicing my skills, my speaking skills.
Yes, but you're getting paid.
Yeah, okay, so what's the point?
What's the
I
point?
don't get the point.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Those who get it, get it. It's to me, yeah. It's so absurd. It's so absurd, the whole thing. Anyway, yeah, yeah. You enjoying this job or?
I do, actually. I do, especially whenever I talk to someone who shares a lot of knowledge with me as well, right? Like most recently, I had a student who was very much into stocks, and I don't know anything about stocks. So he was going through how he started and how he's doing it, something like that. So, yeah, very interesting. Sometimes, just recently, I resigned from my other job because I had two jobs. So I'm doing this full time, so from 8 to 5, right? I find it quite tiring sometimes, exhausting even. Like after a class, I would just shut off everything and just be quiet for the rest of the night. So it's because sometimes my energy gets drained with students. So
How
yeah,
many do you have a day on average?
a day 15, about 15.
Getting getting paid to speak. I mean, people paying to speak, and you have one after another, people with their nonsense stories. You said about
Mhm.
a guy with the stocks. This is probably one in 20 that tells something meaningful. The
That's
rest
true.
is a
Yeah.
complete nonsense. How was your day? What did you do? And they have nothing to say. And
Yeah.
then the next one, and then the next one. And the whole thing is absolutely meaningless. You see, you said about your French. To me, language is a tool for
Mhm.
acquiring knowledge, getting information.
Mhm.
Okay? Language is, and when I say knowledge, I don't mean vocabulary and grammar. I mean
Mhm.
proper knowledge, stock market or, marketing,
Mhm.
whatever you're interested in. And on platforms like this one, there is no knowledge. Not just this one, I mean language classrooms, language schools.
Mhm.
People
Mhm.
don't go on such platforms to acquire knowledge. Good luck with your. You see, I might appear as. What is it? Maybe irritated or frustrated. I'm not. I have nothing against you. I wish you nothing but the best.
Mhm.
The frustration is at myself. I told you I was a teacher for 12 years, and recently I realized that it's makes no sense, this type of job, because again, language cannot be taught. Language
Mhm.
is a tool for acquiring knowledge. The way you need to learn French is to not using textbooks, but focusing on real information,
Mhm.
something you're
Mhm.
interested in. Whatever you're interested in, use French as a tool to learn about it.
Mhm.
Interested in cooking, interested in, and language is a tool for getting. You can't learn French from speaking. You can't learn French from textbooks.
Mhm.
Does it make
So that
sense?
is it. It does. It does actually. What I'm doing, well, not every day, but most of the time I read articles. Like for example, the um, most recently when Queen Elizabeth died, so I read an article from the Prime Minister of Canada. So it was in French. It was very difficult to read, but you get some words at least, right? And
Exactly.
you kind of connect those words. Ah, this is what he meant, right? So
Exactly. And the next article, those words will reappear, and
appear again,
the
yeah,
next, and everything will start to make sense and come together.
right.
But it takes a lot of articles, a lot of reading, but the focus is the interesting information. This is
Mm-hmm.
and speaking is a byproduct. Speaking is a bonus. The thing with Japanese people is that 99.9% of the information they consume is in Japanese.
Right, that's true.
So
That's right.
there's no practice speaking because they don't consume information. They only read textbooks. They don't consume interesting information in English because in Japan there is plenty of good quality information in Japanese.
Mm, okay. Like their books. Sometimes there are American books translated into
They
Japanese, right?
translate about everything because it's a
Mhm,
huge market and they like to
mhm,
read. Everything
mhm,
is translated.
mhm,
Everything is
mhm.
translated. And also they produce knowledge, Nobel Prize winners, and they also
Ah,
produce entertainment. Children mainly learn from movies and games, but
anime. Yeah.
Japan produces entertainment. That's why
Mhm,
Japanese kids watch Japanese anime and read Japanese manga.
mhm.
That's why they can't speak.
I understand your frustration, Vlad. I have a student. I have a few like quote unquote favorite students because you see so much potential in them, but it kind of frustrates me sometimes that, for example, if I would review the past lesson, because I don't know if you've seen the textbooks on Sankei. All right, it's very basic. For example, we'll talk about adjectives. They won't. The textbooks won't even define adjective. So I try to tell them, okay, adjectives are blah 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 blah, and when you ask them the next lesson, they still don't know what adjectives are,
But
right? So
because they don't consume
right.
information,
Mhm,
vocabulary and grammar are not knowledge. This is a very
mhm,
important thing. Vocabulary and
mhm,
grammar are not knowledge.
mhm. So I kind of right, I kind of understand your
The way you
frustration.
learn, no, it's not for, I don't care really.
Mhm,
I don't really care to be honest, but the way you guys in the Philippines learn English is you learn other subjects in English, right? In
right,
middle
that's
school
true.
and high school and college. In
Mhm,
Japan, I am from Bulgaria. In Bulgaria, everything is in our native language.
mhm.
Yes.
Mm,
In Japan, everything is in Japanese. I'm not saying this is a problem. They have enough good quality information. Japan economy is a huge economy.
mhm.
Even without English, they live a very good life. This is the other myth. English without English, speaking is not a skill, is not a marketable skill. It's the knowledge you have that's marketable.
That's true.
The knowledge you have, the information you have, it's what people value. That's why to me the difference between native and non-native is meaningless. There's no 10 times better.
Mm,
That's why I ask
right.
you about the meaningful conversation. It's about
Mhm.
the not the accent, it's about the substance.
Quality of the conversation. That's
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
If I may ask, Vlad, what made you interested? Because you said you in Bulgaria you learn in Bulgarian. So how did you how were you able to speak so fluently? What
I learned
why
economics through English.
okay.
Yes, after I came to Japan. I
Ah
learned a lot of things through English. A lot of things through English. Plus, I like American pop culture and movies. I watch,
mm.
but I didn't watch movies to learn English. This is the other thing. Japanese people, they think, oh, which movie should I watch? What kind of question is that?
And then they just read the captions which are most of the time
But they don't care
wrong.
because they love Japanese movies. They love Japanese, and which is there's nothing wrong with it.
Mhm.
But anyway, when I do look frustrated, but I'm frustrated at myself for believing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll
Mhm.
not waste your time. Take your 5 minute
Mhm.
break and Have an easy day, the rest of the
Yeah.
day.
Glad. Thank you so much. It was such a power. I felt like I was in a podcast. It was such an eye opener actually for me, to be honest. Thank you very much for your time and have a good day. All
You
right.
too.
Bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
You have one life. Don't waste it.